Hello everyone, hi, this is Munish. You are watching Crime Tech English and I welcome all of you to Crime Tech family and I hope everyone part of this Crime Tech family is doing well and fine. Pandemic is at a very serious stage and there are many people known to me who are COVID positive at this point of time and every day there is a struggle. I am personally dealing with many people who are struggling with hospital beds, medicines, and from last 3 days you won't believe that most of the time in the entire day and night I am spending arranging beds for them, arranging hospitals for them. And this is my personal request, my friend, is that take this pandemic very seriously. Do not go out of your house until and unless it is not necessary. If you are going out, wear mask and keep using sanitizers. Do not get involved in any physical activity with any other person. So maintain your distance, and precaution is the only way to fight this COVID battle, because the situation is very bad. I'll be honest, as journalist, situation is very bad, be it any state. Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Lucknow, Gujarat, any place you go, situation is getting worse. And the best possible way is to make sure that you do not come in touch with any person who is having these virus. So please take care of yourself. Now coming back to today's story. My friends, if you remember some time back, we spoke about a couple from Mumbai who was gifted a honeymoon package. They went to Qatar. Later on, they were caught for smuggling drugs and then they were sentenced to 10 years of jail. But then there was a struggle from family, from government, and some other people who helped, and finally they have been acquitted and now they are in Mumbai. So I thought we should revisit the story, and also because we should try and learn from this story that what mistakes they did which we should avoid in our life ahead. And apart from that, there is one very important lesson, is that sometimes we make a perception that this person might be my enemy, but maybe that person will act like a god. And in this case, there was a Pakistani national who was almost like a god to both of them, Oniba and Sharik. And because of his efforts, Oniba and Sharik are safe, back to India, and now they can start their life from scratch. So I thought revisiting this story is very important. I will quickly recap what exactly happened with Oniba and Sharik. So it was year 2019. Sharik, an engineer by profession, resident of Mumbai, married to Oniba, both in their 30s, both of them educated. They got a call from their aunt, Fufi. In Hindi, we call Fufi. So he got a call from his aunt, and aunt said that I want to gift you a honeymoon package. Sharik was very surprised that why suddenly she wants to gift a honeymoon package. Sharik said that we don't need this honeymoon package. He told this to Oniba. Oniba also said that, listen, I don't want to go to Qatar at this point of time. It will be too much of traveling. So they denied. They said we don't want to go to Qatar. But again, the aunt Tabassum, she insisted, no, you are young, you should go to Qatar, it's completely free. I have make the arrangements for stay and everything. You just have to go and stay there. It will be fun for you guys. You guys are young. So all these things she said, but still Sharik said that I don't want to go. One of the reasons was that Sharik and Oniba had earlier been to foreign countries like Bangkok, Dubai, and Saudi, and they never wanted to go to Qatar. But again, what Tabassum did, that she started calling the other relatives, and the other relatives then started pressurizing, Sharik, that when you are being gifted a honeymoon package, a second honeymoon package, you can say, uh, and you are getting a free stay in Qatar, then why don't you go there? So finally, he said that okay, ठीक है, I'll go. And but there was another problem. Now, when he said I will go, then uh, there was a bag. There was a bag which Tabassum wanted Sharik and Oniba to carry. Now, Sharik is an educated person. He said that I will not carry any bag. She said, no, these are some gifts for my friends there. They don't get tobacco and gutka like Manik Chand and Shimla. Uh, they don't get these tobaccos and gutka there. So just carry this. He said, no, I don't want to carry. But again, there was there was an insistence, and it was difficult for Sharik to rely on what her aunt was saying, because back of the mind he was thinking that it might be a case of gold smuggling, because he has seen that there are many people who if you see the bag, the trolley bag, there is round the corner there is a layer which is basically fiber, and it is covered between one layer fiber and then there is a cloth. uh, in the case of gold smuggling, what they do is basically they change the fiber with a gold sheet. Another example I'll give you. I have seen this. There are many sources in customs department. I have seen how they seize such articles. So once I saw that there was a kids book, there was a book with hardcover, and you know when there is a hardcover, then there is little thickness. So between that thickness, what they do, the smugglers, what they do, there is a sheet of gold, and then both the side they will overlap and make it look like a cover, a hard cover for a book. So that is how they smuggled, and this is what Sharik, he suspected at that point of time that it might be a case of gold smuggling, and he said, no, I don't want to go. But again, end of the day, relative, I think you and me can correlate. If there is a pressure from a relative, how difficult it is to say no, and you can't even get very casual or open, because end of the day they might think that you are not trusting your own relative. So this was the difficulty with with Sharik and Oniba, but later on they agreed. My friends, it was the month of July. It was the month of July 2019, and they left from Mumbai for Qatar airport. July 6, 2019, they reached Qatar airport. The moment they came out, the immigration officer came and he said, step aside. Both Oniba and Sharik, they were separated from the main line. Later on, they were taken to the conveyor belt where you get your luggage. So they were taken to the conveyor belt. They were asked by the immigration authorities to take out their bags. They took their bag. Then two officers came and they said, come behind us. So again they started going behind those custom officials, immigration officials. And Sharik thought that there is something wrong, because he has been to other countries and he has seen that if there is nothing wrong, you are allowed to pass through the airport. But here he had his doubts. Anyway, they took the bags, they put it in for scanning and all. So when this bag was scanned, then there was some clothes and all. So they took out the clothes. They took out the tobacco and gutka wala thing, because that was not illegal in Qatar. So that that hurdle was passed. Later on, when the bag was completely empty, and it was a big trolley bag, when the bag was completely empty, then it was scanned again, and the custom officials, the immigration officials, suspected something. Another team of the law enforcement agencies came, and then they started cutting the bag with a knife. And when they started cutting it, there was a layer. It was a brownish layer, and the officials there said it is hashish, charas basically. It was 4 kg of hashish. So in immediately both of them, Oniba and Sharik, they were arrested by the police. Then they were sent to 2 different jails. Now the problem was that Oniba was pregnant at that point of time. It was initial days of pregnancy, but no, you are pregnant as a woman. You think you are pregnant, and you are separated from from your husband the moment you have landed in a foreign country. So both of them were separated. Sharik was sent to a jail. Oniba was sent to different jail. This jail was basically for those people who have been, who have been arrested for drug-related charges or drug-related cases. So they were sent to these jails. They stayed there for almost 6 months, and within 6 months there was a case built against them. They were tried and they were convicted. The lower court said that this bag belongs to them. They were found with drugs. This drug is banned narcotic substance. So they should be sent to jail for 10 years. So almost for, they lost hope. Nothing is going to happen because it's a foreign country. Who is going to help them? But Sharik's father and the other relatives, Oniba's father and mother, they had a firm belief that they have been framed. So they started looking for some evidence. And what Sharik's father did, that he wrote a letter to the Narcotics Control Bureau in India. And, in his letter to Mr. Rakesh Asthana, a very fine officer, currently Chief of Narcotics Control Bureau. You must have heard his name during the Sushant Singh Rajput case. Earlier, he was the Special Director of Central Bureau of Investigation. So this letter was written on September 27, 2019, and if I can read the letter, for you guys for better understanding. Sharik's father said that the letter was written by Oniba's father, and in his letter he said that my daughter and son-in-law were deceived in the garb of a honeymoon package by a woman named Tabassum Riaz Qureshi and her associate Nizam Kara. And NCB probe found that the couple was trapped by a drug running network infamous as Kasargod Syndicate. So they found that both these people, Aunt Tabassum and another associate, they were earlier, arrested for drug-related cases, and then they gave a detail that how their son-in-law, daughter, they are, at that point of time, they were in jail. So they described everything. They also wrote letter to the government of India. But NCB did a fantastic job. They started getting out the evidence here. Now in Qatar, what was happening is that Sharik and Oniba, they were separated. Oniba later on gave birth to a daughter. They gave her a very good name. I loved it personally, Ayat. So Ayat was born in jail. You can understand, in a foreign country, the moment you landed, you ended up in jail, and now you have given a birth, first baby, and your husband is in another jail. So, they were devastated completely. It was devastating for them, terrifying for them. But finally, they had to manage. They never lost hope. They tried to fight. So, an appeal was filed before the High Court. The High Court said that we can't do anything in this. The evidence is against you, so nothing will happen. Then another application was filed before the Supreme Court. Now, approaching Supreme Court in Qatar is not easy. There are thousands and thousands of appeal before the Supreme Court, and on daily basis, 1 case, 2 case, 5 case, 10 cases, these cases are selected. But he was lucky enough, Sharik. He got an option of appeal in Supreme Court. Supreme Court said that High Court should listen to this matter. Immediately, his 10-year conviction in this case, that order was withdrawn. And then came a person, a Pakistani national. He came in life of Sharik and Uniba. He got in touch with Sharik's father, Uniba's father, and he was so helpful to them, that Pakistani national, that he convinced the Qatar authorities, he convinced the lawyers there, and he got the cell phone of Sharik. Now, Sharik's cell phone had audio recordings and text messages about the bag which was given by Tabassum. So, they started, using a notepad. They started making a note of what exactly, how many evidence they have. So, apart from a report from the Narcotics Control Bureau, a letter from Government of India, a letter describing the background of this woman Tabassum and her associate, this became a very crucial evidence which was got, which basically the Pakistani national helped Uniba and Sharik, and then the lawyer basically got the telephone. The data was downloaded. There was text messages. There were phone conversation in which Sharik was saying no to this honeymoon package. Sharik and Uniba were saying no to this bag, and also there was an admission by Tabassum that this is my bag, which I am giving it to you, and you have to carry this bag. So the case was built once again, and again it was submitted before the High Court, again before the Supreme Court appeal was filed, and finally the top court of Qatar, they found that these couple are innocent. They have done nothing wrong apart from trusting a person. And finally they were acquitted in the case. Just 2 days back they arrived in Mumbai, and I was very happy. I followed this case. I spoke to officials. I spoke to KPS Malhotra, and an officer who was working on this case, a fine officer from Narcotics Control Bureau. I was following what Mr. Rakesh Asthana was doing in this case. So I was speaking to my sources, and I was personally in touch with officers, so that I will get to know what is happening with these innocent couple, because we had firm belief as a journalist that they were innocent. The amount of evidence which was against Tabassum, and how this entire racket was functioning. Also, one more important fact about this case is that Uniba and Sharik, when they came, then they have told the authorities there are many, there are many youngsters who have been caught like them, and young women, 18 years old, 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 24-year-old girls, in those who have traveled from Mumbai, Delhi, and other parts of country to Qatar on the pretext of getting job, getting some work in a call center, or meeting someone, or on some fun package, some stay in hotel, luxury hotel. On these packages they were sent, and finally they were caught with drugs. They were asked to carry something with them, and all of them were carrying drugs. So there are many cases, and they have written to the NCB and the Government of India, and they have requested the Government of India to help those innocent youngsters also. Now, my friends, there are two things. One is fight for justice. Sharik and Uniba fought for justice. Their family fought for justice, and that is why today they are back to India safely. And the other important fact is, we should not make a perception. Whenever you go out of India, if there is a person from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Bhutan, for that matter, Nepal and Pakistan, you end up being in conversation with that person, because there is some sense of attachment. And here, Pakistani national, I think he came as a god in their life, and because of that they are back to India. Another important lesson: do not trust. Do not trust even your relatives. If you're going out on a foreign trip, someone is asking you to carry anything with you, do not trust. Simple. Thank you so much for watching this, and again, please take care of yourself.